Hello, friends. So recently I got a couple of questions where people were saying, Michele, you're recently talking a lot about complex PTSD recovery or Cptsd recovery. You've always talked about narcissistic abuse recovery. I'm trying to figure out, where I'm at and if it even matters if I understand which I'm actually doing, or are they the same thing? So I thought that was a really good question. And if you've wondered or are wondering which you're undergoing, and if it matters, then this is the video for you. For those that don't know me, my name is Michele. I'm a life and relationship coach. I'm also the founder of the Thriver School of Transformation, which is a monthly membership where we meet live weekly on Zoom and we work through the side effects of complex PTSD and or narcissistic abuse recovery together. So here's the link for anyone that wants to check that out. Okay, so narcissistic abuse recovery, complex PTSD recovery. This is my interpretation. Okay, that's all this is my personal input on the matter. Okay, when I was on my own healing journey to recover, I didn't really identify with the term complex PTSD. I couldn't get my mind wrapped around it at the moment, but what I did understand was narcissistic abuse recovery, okay? And the reason for that at that time is because when you're first out of all toxic relationships and you are new to the healing journey, looking within, which is what recovery about Cptsd is all about, it's really about looking at you and where you're at and where you're stuck. I couldn't do that, not in the beginning. I had to first piece together what happened to me and put the blame kind of where it belonged, which was outside of self. Now, I'm not saying I didn't have any part, because I did have a lot of part, including allowing a lot of things. But the truth is that I was in a situation in different times in my life where I was in a relationship where this person or people or individuals were intentionally causing psychological damage. I was in relationships with people that didn't know how to regulate their own emotions. They regulated emotions through the other person, and in this case, me. And when you don't understand that, what happens is you get sucked in. You get sucked into a relationship where it's not two individuals, but it's almost like you become one person, so enmeshed that their behavior, their actions affect you as if you're not a separate self. Okay. And I could go on and on about that, but narcissistic abuse is really about emotional manipulation. And so when you're in that relationship, there's this game that you don't want to play, but you're forced to be a pawn in this game because of what the narcissist needs for themselves. So I say that because recovery is about breaking out of that enmeshment. It's about identifying where you gave up your authentic self, to please this person. Because that's the other thing that narcissistic abuse is all about, is about relinquishing your authenticity so that you can be an extension of this person. Now, no one does this on a conscious level, and no one does this intentionally or willingly. It's very covert, manipulative abuse that takes place slowly, consistently over a long period of time. So again, recovery, when you're recovering from this, the focus is largely on understanding what happened, understanding what the other person did. Which means you learn terms like gaslighting, trauma bonds, blame shifting, the double bind manipulation. You start learning where abuse was taking place, when it was under the radar, under your radar, you didn't even realize it. I can't tell you how many people in my coaching practice tell me, they're like, Michele, I didn't even realize it was abuse. Or they'll say something like, I thought it was normal. I thought every parent-child relationship was like that. Or they'll even say, I actually thought we had a close relationship. only to realize that it was enmeshed and toxic and unhealthy. So again, narcissistic abuse recovery starts with understanding what happened. Now, I was watching a video not too long ago, someone on YouTube who is a therapist, and he said that, everyone thinks that narcissistic abuse recovery, you have to learn about the narcissist and you have to understand the narcissist. And it was said in a connotation that you didn't have to learn about that. That's the tone that I felt was implied. As someone that went through that, I don't think that I would have been able to recover and to get back to me if I didn't understand the other person. So I do feel like understanding the narcissist is a big part of narcissistic abuse recovery. It has its place, definitely has its place, but it's not where you want to get stuck. Learning about the narcissist is not going to heal you. It's not going to overcome the trauma that happened to you. It will explain it. It will validate it, which feels good and it feels healing. But that's where Cptsd comes in. So people that are undergoing narcissistic abuse recovery are often still in the relationship, or they are recently out of the relationship and trying to understand it, or they are still extremely affected directly by the actions of the narcissist. Okay, so they have to get themselves to a place where that person, the toxic person, is who they are, right? Because you can't change anybody else. They are who they are, and you're able to stay you. That's a huge part of the recovery. So Cptsd recovery, to me, okay, and this is just how I see it in through the lens of narcissistic abuse. Cptsd recovery should take place either if you're in a long-term relationship that you can't get out of, or you still have narcissistic people in your life, but you've kind of separated. You're your own person. You're an authentic, separate person, but you're still stuck in certain thought patterns, in certain emotional states. You're still not fully able to be your authentic self to the degree that you know that you should, or to the degree that you know who you are, but you understand that you're still not allowing yourself to get to that place fully. Okay, maybe you've separated from the toxic person, but you're still not you. Okay, so Cptsd recovery is not dependent on a narcissist. This could be from childhood trauma. This could be from so many different things. So that's the other factor that is different. Narcissistic abuse recovery obviously has to involve a narcissist, but Cptsd recovery can be dependent on many things. Through the lens of narcissistic abuse, I would say Cptsd takes place when you have either detoxed your life from toxic people, or you are, living as yourself around them. So some people make the decision when it comes to malignant narcissists in their life, they may go no contact. They may have low or minimal contact, or they may do what's known as no negative emotional contact, which is when you have to be around certain people, whether they are people from work or they are people, family members that you don't want to go no contact with for whatever reason. Okay, and nobody should tell you what to do in this regards. So if you have this low minimal contact, people make the decision to not share anything negative, no negative emotional contact. Okay, so let's say you're at that place where you've made those decisions, whether to go no contact, minimal, or no negative emotional contact. But you're still stuck and you're still struggling because of the side effects of the trauma. And some of those side effects, just to mention some of the main ones, are social anxiety, emotional flashbacks, a harsh inner critic, self-abandonment, and toxic shame. Those are the 5 main components of Cptsd. So the narcissist isn't the focus anymore. Like, you're done. You don't want to learn about them anymore. You have zero desire to be learning about them. But the reality is you're still struggling. You still feel like you're attempting recovery, attempting to get your life back, but you're hitting a brick wall, and you're hitting a brick wall. You're taking a few steps forward, then you find yourself back in the exact same place that you started in. that's when you want to look into CPTSD recovery. CPTSD recovery is about you. Yes, it's about understanding the narcissist and understanding the trauma that took place to create these side effects in you. But the main focus is about you. And I will be honest, not everyone is ready to get there. Like I said in the beginning, if somebody had told me in the beginning of my healing journey, Michele, forget about learning about the narcissist, jump right into CPTSD recovery, jump right into focusing on you, wouldn't have happened. I couldn't get there. So the beginning is the narcissistic abuse recovery. Then if you're still stuck and you are still not living your life the way you want to live, that's when you start doing the inner work. It's about taking the focus off the narcissist and putting the focus on you. And that can feel very uncomfortable. And there are so many reasons why your inner self starts freaking out when you start doing that. It doesn't feel comfortable. Your inner self, when it comes to CPTSD, the trauma actually causes you to feel more comfortable looking at the narcissist rather than looking at yourself. So expect discomfort, expect it to be challenging, but that's where the shifts will take place. That's where you will start overcoming and getting you back and being able to create the life that you really want. And that is currently one of the main focuses of my channel, is really shifting the focus into complex PTSD so that you can do that. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do and hit that bell icon so you're notified of my upcoming videos. And if you think you can benefit from weekly live meetings where we discuss this together on Zoom, check out the Thriver School of Transformation. You can even join and enjoy 1 week for free.